Jeff Bodine, Ricky Caven, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Bubba Pollard, just some of the names that have won at this racetrack in the Oxford 250. And tonight, we have the SimPossible Racing League for you tonight. I just said tonight twice, but we have 150 laps of this very small, very tough 3/8 mile bull ring oval, and we're very excited to bring it to you on 3Wide TV. I'm Cameron Rich, commentating tonight with Carlos Acosta in the booth, and this is going to be a good one, and I can't really wait for this one because this is such a unique track on iRacing. It's such an underappreciated track, and you can just see it right there. No walls around the outside of the speedway, so if you go off the track, you're going to be out in the dirt, and I think this is going to be one heck of a race. We've got two races to go in this split series, tonight's race as well as Richmond. We'll give a quick update for the points for you before we go to qualifying. Kyle Zimmer is your points leader with 291 points, 11 ahead of Billy Wise, and then it's a further 1 point back to Alan Capers. So very tight points battle, and it's definitely going to be a good one to watch. Further on back, Chris Burge in 4th, Kevin Pascowicz in 5th, Fernando Matos 6th, Nick Catilla 7th, Brian Lowhead 8th, Johnny Berardi 9th, AJ Digby is in 10th. I don't believe he's here in the session just yet, if he's actually going to show up, but he is your 10th place driver in points.
AJ Digby, he's in the session.
Oh yeah, excuse me. I just saw him, so my apologies there, but definitely a bit of a mistake on my part. But I think this is going to be a very, very exciting race, and you can already see some carnage there off the turn 2 end of the speedway. Some cars off in the dirt, kind of hitting each other, and this is such a tight track. It's inevitable there's going to be a lot of contact tonight, so it's going to be a very fun one to watch.
I have driven at this track before, although I have never done it, as you see the 13 of Capers here. I have never done it in this vehicle before. I did it in the street stocks back a couple, I would say maybe a year or two ago, back when the Elite Racing series was fresh in iRacing. You know, in the street stocks, it was hard to pass. You definitely needed the track position, and aside from definitely need to pass vehicles, one of the more important things is managing your time. This race is going to go by like that. It was only a handful of laps that we ran in on the street stocks race I did here a long time ago, but I thought, you know, we got enough time, and sure enough, 10 laps to go came, and I was not prepared. This race is going to go by pretty fast, even if we do get cautions. Cam, I don't know what type of experience you have in this racetrack, but it is definitely fun.
Yeah, my experience is limited to super late models here, and they're quite a different beast than these big, heavy K&N cars. You can really fly around this track in a super late model. And actually, if we can get an onboard with this track real quick with someone, we'll just go ahead and see if we can just quickly dial up. I believe this is the one of Thomas Wise.
Yes, you are right.
You can see that this track, there's really not a straightaway here. You're literally turning the entire length of the speedway. On this backstretch, you're going to come off turn number 2 here, out to the out to the dirt almost, and then back into turn 3 almost immediately. And there's literally no straightaways here that you're actually going to have to turn the wheel straight. So these right front tires on these cars are going to take a beating tonight, and by a beating I mean they're actually going to be melting, probably almost melting off the bead. So a lot of tire heat tonight here, and it's going to be a bit of a tire conservation race, I would have to assume, just because these cars are so heavy compared to what normally runs here. Like I said, the Oxford 250 is a late model race, so those cars about 2,800 pounds. These are 3,400, and he's a little bit more horsepower than those, but definitely going to be something to watch for. And we're going to have to keep up on the points battle throughout the race as best we can. We don't have an actual graphic for that, unfortunately, but definitely a tight points battle. 11 points separating first and second. So I think Kyle Zimmer in the 25, he is currently 4th on the practice charts. He's going to want to try to get as many points here tonight, and maybe all but lock the championship going into Richmond.
That's true. Now, Cam, what would happen here if a driver just wasn't able to turn in all the way? Are they going to hit a wall?
Well, you see right there, Fernando Matos went tumbling through the infield. Walls are actually pretty hard to hit here, because if you do go spinning off, you do go off into the dirt, and really the wall is only a problem on the front stretch. So definitely, I think hitting a wall here is going to be a bit difficult, but we might see it once or twice tonight. There's going to be contact here. Like we said, this track's so tight, so narrow, so everything that is pretty much the antithesis of everything you need on a racetrack that's
a big word for you.
For racing, but yeah, big words here in the 3x TV booth. But anyway, after the rambling, we're in qualifying now.
Yeah, one last quick thing about the dirt is the dirt is actually pretty much on a negative banking compared to the banking of the regular track. So if you get in the dirt, it's not going to help at all. It's going to push you closer to the actual grandstand walls.
Absolutely. This was Wise who we ran on board with for a couple laps in practice on his qualifying run. And your qualifying run's pretty quick here. You come off that pit road, you need to keep under those little curves around the track. This track, very odd that it has curves and it has berms around the light poles. You can see them right there at the bottom of your screen. You can hit those and fly through the air, so we might see that tonight. It's definitely a spectacular sight to see. Not something that is good for the health of your race car, though, but it is definitely quite a show. Billy Wise at the top of the board right now with a 15.183. He more or less matches his practice time. He ran a 1.29 in practice. Actually goes a little bit quicker, 15.103. So good to see these cars are going quicker on their second lap.
Now, Cam, something about these curbs. The berms aren't the only thing that the drivers have to watch out for as well. The curbs can also be extremely deadly. As we go on board 27, it goes a bit wide, so you can't really show it there, but at some point in the track, a couple times in the track, the curbs actually go away and then they come back really sharp. If you were to somehow like put your engine in a perfect position while you're braking into those curbs, you will destroy your engine. It's happened to me in the previous race I ran here before, and it's happened to a couple drivers already that they were talking about. So some of these drivers do have to watch out where they position these cars. I know some drivers are going to try to make it so that the insides of their left tires are going to be hugging up against that curb throughout the corners, so it can help them rotate. But if you misplace that, and it's a very very big if you misplace that, you can destroy your engine and not even bring out a caution.
Absolutely, that is definitely something to keep track with these K&N cars. They do sit quite low to the ground on the front, and these iRacing setups can be quite sketchy in the fact that you get something just a little bit wrong, you can destroy that motor in a hurry. We're on board with Kyle Zimmer right now, and that Ally machine going around the racetrack hasn't posted a qualifying time yet, but I believe he's going to be starting one right here off turn number 4. Swing it right up to that outside, not all the way to the wall, but kind of get there. Actually, he just did finish this out, but 15.194, so a bit of a pickup from practice from him. Currently at the top of the chart, somebody we have not seen in a long while in this SimPossible race, Brian Bliss in that 34 machine. He's driving a NOS sponsored car. Kyle Zimmer goes for a bit of a spin there off of the turn number 4 through that front stretch pit area, and really that's not much of a pit area to speak of, but it is there, and that is where these cars are going to be pitting tonight. There's Nate Catilla on the screen coming into the pits right now, and Carlos, I've actually been thinking about something. There is a non-zero chance that some of these drivers might elect to go the entire distance without pitting.
It's entirely possible. That is true. And to be fair, I can see at least maybe one driver trying that out. I'm not sure if everybody will, depending on how many cautions we have. Only 13 drivers out here tonight, so the chances are, of course, very low. That being said, even if it does end up being a caution-filled race, it's not going to be that long either way. I do not have the lap count with me today. I don't know, Cam, if you know the lap distance for tonight.
150 laps.
150 laps is going to go by very fast. On speed, these drivers are hitting just over 15 seconds, about a 15.1, with about the worst being about a 15.5, and honestly, that's just going to improve as the race goes on. There will be some tire wear, of course, but at the same time, these drivers are not going to be hitting speeds high enough to start really affecting the way these tires do wear out until very, very late into the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And about 3 seconds left in qualifying right now. I don't see anyone on the track, so our starting grid might be set because I don't think any of these drivers have enough time. Actually, I see AJ Digby going out on the racetrack, but he definitely does not have enough time to set a lap time with only 17 seconds left.
I believe iRacing does give it a couple extra seconds after it is qualifying is over, so he may just have enough time. That was just warm-up lap. We'll see how many seconds they give him. Oh, no, that was it. Okay, my bad. I apologize. I've lied to you guys. I've lied to you guys again. But,
all right, well,
yeah,
that does
Cam,
conclude
yeah,
qualifying.
Why don't we go ahead and mention the grid?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go through the grid real quick. 12 cars here for tonight's 150 lap running of the Oxford 150, I guess it would be. So we'll go ahead and go through the grid right now. On the pole, making his return to the SimPossible Race League, number 34, NOS-sponsored machine of Brian Bliss. And to his outside, the number 32 of Billy Wise.
Alright, in third place, we're going to have Kyle Zimmer on the 25 with Christopher Burge. Still driving the 49. He's going to continue doing that for the next bit. Christopher Burge.
On row number 3, another pair of Chevys. These are all Chevys. This is the K&N car, and this is the only model we have. We have the 27 of Kevin Paskowicz and the number 4 of Nate Catilla.
And last driver to qualify will be Thomas Wise. Cam, go ahead and talk about the rest.
Yeah, the rest of the field going to come at you real quick. AJ Digby going to be starting at 8. Saw him try to make it a qualifying attempt. Was not able to get so in time. Number 13 of Alan Capers, who has, I believe, a win or 2 on this series. And number 48 of Mark Dingman going to roll off in 13th. No, the number 90 of Zudema off in 10th. Number 17 of Fernando Matos, 11th. Number 66 of Brian Lowhead, 12th. And number 48 of Mark Dingman will roll off shotgun on the field. 13 cars here for tonight's running of this race. And like we said in the pre-race, it's going to be a fun one. There's going to be contact. There's going to be a lot of good racing here. And this is definitely a unique track to watch a race at. And, you know, not many times on any broadcasting team for iRacing you see a race at Oxford. So we're happy to bring this one to you guys for tonight.
Of course. And a quick note before we do go green, Johnny Berardi is on the chat. Unfortunately, he does not have any internet today, so he will be missing out on today's festivities. We also want to give a shout out to Billy Wise Music. Billy Wise, of course, on the field. He joined us in the chat for a moment. We also got Grassroots Sim Racing on the chat as well.
Hope you all guys are enjoying the race. It's definitely going to be something to watch, so stay tuned. We have 2 laps of pace in here. This is a short track, a very short track, 3/8 of a mile, same length as my home track of Langland Speedway, which is also on the iRacing service, so pretty cool there. But this is very much different than that place, and we're going to see a good one tonight. But on the pole, Brian Bliss, like we said, number 34 machine, very nice looking NOS-sponsored machine. And this start's going to be interesting because half of these cars are going to be in the turn when the green flag comes out in just a few moments' time. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are able to kind of take the start. The pace car is off. We're getting ready to go underway for 150 laps of Oxford. And green flag is out. Flagman waving the green flag frantically and off to a good start. Number 34, Brian Bliss. We had 3 wide for a moment. Ooh, some contact further on back in the pack. Actually, was the
32 of Billy Wise.
Yeah, 32 of Billy Wise getting spun around on the first lap of the race. I see a couple other cars involved as well. The number 13 of Capers in the grass. I don't believe he has any damage. Look, actually, he does have a lot of damage, so excuse me there, but just saw some contact here. Number 49 of Roberge, I believe that was Kyle Zimmer below him, and they just run out of room there. So this is a very tight racetrack, and saw Alan Capers get involved, unfortunately, there as well. Got a lot of damage on the front of that car, and you don't want to use your fast repairs up here. These guys have 4 of them to use for the duration of the race, and you don't want to use them up because this is going to be a hard-fought race for everyone in the field. So not a good start for Capers or Billy Wise.
Did you see that? For Alan Capers, just go on board Alan Capers and see what he saw there.
Yeah, we'll go on board with him real quick on this next level racing machine. Going through turn number 1 and 2 right now on the first lap of the race. You see just some contact in front of him and nowhere for Alan Capers to go. He actually gets pinched into one of those berms we were talking about and saw the car fly up in the air a little bit. So it only took 1 lap for that to happen, and there you go.
So very already hectic lap 1 there. Another quick note, Mark Dickman did not take the start, so only 12 drivers started this race. Currently in pit road is the 90 of Travis Zudema. Unsure if he's going to go a lap down. He may possibly go a lap down. Oh, my bad. I apologize. I thought the leaders were on the start-finish line at this point. Quick note: there is no divider between pit road and the actual race track position. So it's possible that, well, not in iRacing, but in real life, it's possible that somebody could be repairing some damage in pit road, and the leaders could wreck themselves into that car in pit road. It's a scary thought, but you know, it is possible, just not in iRacing.
Absolutely, but we are on 1 to go already. So, getting set to go back green here for try number 2 of the start. Really, we didn't even get a full lap in yet, but working lap number 5. Pace car is off. We'll see how these guys take the start once again. Brian Bliss off. Kyle Zimmer has a better restart, but he's not going to be able to do anything on the outside line and going to get stuck up there for the time being. So Brian Bliss is your leader by about a car length and a half over Chris Roberge right now. Ooh, Nick Catilla in the grass, and into the berm. He's upside down in the dirt, and once again, we're seeing these light pole berms come into play big time here tonight, and Nick Catilla went for a ride, didn't he, Carlos?
Yeah, he did. We actually got a great view on that. The original live feed. It looks like he had too much beans going in, exiting the corner, and turned it into those berms, you call it. I don't think I've ever heard that term being used before, but heavy damage for the 4 car. It definitely will be a fast repair. I believe I saw another. He landed on another vehicle or landed right in front of another vehicle.
Yeah, I think he did. I was actually going to ask that myself. It looked like he did land on top of somebody.
I think that's 32, or I'm not sure who that was. I might have. Let's go back and see who we can take a look and see. Was that the 32 of Billy Wise? Here's on board the 32. There he is, getting loose off. He goes up in the air. Oh, wow. Oh. It looks like
about
he
as close
just
as you can
missed
get.
him. Yeah, wow, that's the closest I've ever seen somebody get that.
And I'm sure Billy Wise is happy about that because he was involved in the first lap accident. So he's probably thinking to himself, why me? The car is
that's a different
bit beat
person.
up. It's a bit beat up right there. You see some damage on the rear and the front, but probably not something you need to go and take a fast curve for at this stage in the race. Yeah, he's going to have to be careful because he's going to, if he's taking 4 tires, he's going to go a lap down, and right, see, he actually aborts that and only takes 2. That's something that we're going to have to talk about too. If you do pit, this track is so small that if you take 4 tires, you will go a lap down. That's a common thing here on the iRacing short track, so it'll be something to watch out for. But yeah, like you said, 1 to green.
Yeah,
it's good that these cautions are so short.
Yeah, and these are the faster pit stop vehicles, unlike the street stocks or the super late model, where it take a long time. Well, actually, I'm not sure about the super late model, but the street stocks for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The super late models take about 25 seconds for a pit stop, but pace car is off, and we're green once again, and a bit of a stack up on the start, but we are all clean through 1 and 2 so far. Doesn't look like anyone has contact just yet. Some contact with the 1 of Thomas Wise, but he keeps it straight. Brian Bliss pulls out to about a car length lead over the 14 of AJ Digby, racing for second with Chris Roberge. Looks like Digby's going to have the advantage for now at the line, and number 14's pretty fast. He started in 8th. He's already up to second, looking for the lead at this working lap number 12. And we'll see how he's able to manage or navigate this racetrack. We've had a few laps under green so far, so it looks like we might be able to get spread out here and battle for the lead, heating up. AJ Digby on that outside line, but Brian Bliss holding tough on that outside, on the outside line, excuse me, AJ Digby on the inside. So see some good multi-groove racing at a track that is not absolutely known for it at all. But there's Chris Burge, we're on board with him right now. He's inserted himself into the battle for the lead for the time being. We'll see if he wants to make it 3 wide. That would be a very unwise move in my opinion, but he's going to do that. But we've almost some contact there with the 34. Didn't look like he knew he was there, but they were able to keep it straight. And that number 49, going to talk about him for a moment. In the practice sessions we had before tonight's event, I heard a lot of drivers say that number 49 was the car to beat tonight. He was one of the fastest cars here, so we'll see if he's able to keep the tires on it and maybe run down that number 14 who's in the lead right now. But single file throughout most of the pack for the time being. Looks like everybody's kind of starting to string themselves out and get settled in because we've had 2 cars hit berms so far. Ooh, the 4, yeah. Nick Catilla sideways.
Oh.
He's going to hit the berm again. No, he's not. Just barely missed it.
Now, going back to that practice that you mentioned, I think you may have had some experience with them last night. I know there was a practice session yesterday to see how the track would handle. You said that you might hop in there for a couple minutes. How did that go?
I actually missed the session for Oxford. I got in a little bit late and while they're doing 5 flags late model. So that was pretty fun to do before the league race. I had the 49 of Verberge loose into turn number 2, keeps it straight, but actually there's a big stack up behind the 34. Brian Bliss sideways, and I believe that was that the 20? No, that wasn't the 27. That one. Somebody went around on the front stretch. 32 Billy Wise, looks like he's coming out of pit road, so it might have been him. But definitely a carnage here early on. This track proving tough for these drivers, and this track absolutely is one of the toughest to drive in iRacing. I've always been able to die on that hill because this track is just so unique and so difficult. It is definitely one of the hardest ovals we have, and one of the hardest tracks we have at all. So good battle here for the
7th place.
Further back in the back, yeah, 7th place. Thomas Wise and Travis Zuma going at it. And Fernando Matos in there as well for 9th. So good racing here all around this track so far.
Yeah, and we got some nice default iRacing cameras. Kind of reminds me a lot of those lower series local style broadcasts that I've seen on the internet.
Number 14 of AJ Diva, your current leader, actually caught up behind some lap traffic right now. He's behind the number 4 of Nate Catilla, and that number 49 behind him is actually catching him in a hurry. He's running a couple tenths quicker per lap because of Digby not being able to get around the 4, and finally he does. Number 4 of Nate Catilla goes high and lets AJ by, so now Chris Verberge going to have to get around him as well. So we'll see if he's as hard on Verberge as he was Digby. I think he's trying to not go too many laps down, but he is already 1 lap down, so he probably would just be good to get out of the way of Verberge and kind of slot in behind him, actually way up the racetrack. So we'll see if Verberge can make the move into 1. Yes, he does, so he should be able to get by him pretty quickly here. Number 27, Kevin Baskowicz, he's lurking back there in the 3rd position right now. Started 5th, about 1.7 seconds behind the leader, doing a pretty good job. He's got the 34 Brian Bliss, your pole sitter for tonight's event, right behind him, who has fallen back a little bit, but he was kind of knocked around a few laps ago and probably just trying to get his breath back and get back into a groove. That's a hard word to say for me.
Yeah,
actually, as I say that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
As I say that, Brian Bliss takes it in 1 and goes for the 3rd position on Paskowicz. Not able to make the move just yet, but that number 34 was extremely sideways and makes the move into 3. But that number 34 looks like he might be burning those rears off. That car is sideways around the track, and that can't be good for those tires as we go deeper into this run. So we'll have to watch and see if that number 34 starts getting overheated rear tires, which will absolutely make the car drive terribly. But he has made the move back to the 3rd position.
Yeah, something I was going to mention is that most of these drivers have already appeared to have single-filed each other. They're at this point, if they're not battling somebody for position like we're seeing with the 13 and 27, they're just trying to catch up, gain position, and more importantly, save tires, as we're seeing what's been going on with the 27 here. I'm not seeing any other battles on track.
Contact! Turn 2.
Oh, the 4 and the 13 of Capers.
Yeah, that was I think that was just a bit of a low-key frustration move on Capers' part. He dove it in, tried to get below the 4, and the 4 just did not get out of the way, and there was some contact there, resulted in both of them getting damage. And you see that 4 got spun around, and the 13 of Alan Capers probably got the worst end of that deal. He got his front end all banged up and lost his track position after that, so probably not the result he wanted, but either way, we have some activity on pit road right now. Looks like most of your leaders electing to come down. I see AJ Digby, Kevin Paskowicz, Kyle Zimmer all down. A couple other cars as well. So probably those, Alan Capers as well. So he was, of course, involved in the accident. Has some damage on the car. We'll see if he elects to take a fast spare or not. And he does. First off pit road battle between Zimmer and Paskowicz wins the race off pit road, so he's going to be starting, I believe, probably in the 2nd or 3rd position. I don't see how many people actually stayed out right now, too. So Verberge and Brian Bliss both electing to stay out, so your 3rd place starter will be Kevin Paskowicz.
Well, unless Chris goes down pit road. He does have a history of staying out to lead a lap, but I think in this situation he might elect to stay out, considering the fact that he was running 2nd and kind of closing in on the race leader. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly he does. I really don't think he's going to go down pit road, and he is electing not to go down pit road. I believe now he will not be allowed to go down pit road unless he's going to take a penalty and have to go down for a drive-through on the restart.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was gonna see if I get a word with some of these drivers, but it's a little bit too late for that now. We'll see. We'll wait till next caution to do that. But it's been a pretty interesting one so far. 34 laps in the books, so we are almost up to the 1/3 point in the race. Lap 50 would be the 1/3 point, of course. So it's going by pretty quickly, and we thought it would if we got green flag laps in. This is a very, very, very small track. I believe it's the smallest track that we actually can run on iRacing. I'm not mistaken. I don't believe we have any quarter miles, but I'll have to check on that later. But about to go green flag once again. That pace car has its lights off, so it's about to make that hard left turn into this very funky pit lane, and the lead will be in the hands of Chris Roberge with Brian Bliss on his outside. He started first. He's up to second, so we'll see how that outside line fares on restart. Not very well. Chris Roberge got a good jump. We'll have to see how race control deems that. It might have been a bit too early on the gas, but I couldn't see from my position right now, but we'll wait and see on that one. But there's Kevin Paskowicz going for second. He's under Brian Bliss through 3 and 4, and Brian Bliss is just losing spots left and right. He's down to the 4th position right now. He's stuck on the outside line, and you just can't do anything as a driver. You have to get down to the bottom, and because that outside line will burn the tires up pretty quickly. And I think he's going to probably slot in right here. No, he's not. So still the battle for the 5th position going on between him and Zimmer, and actually right now he slots in behind that number 25.
Yeah, something I'm seeing 34 and maybe the 25 doing is that I think they're trying to actually make a straightaway actually in the corner by giving it a little bit of gas, either on purpose or by getting loose. I'm just
27 loose.
Oh, he's still loose.
Excuse me. And around he goes in turn number 4,
yep.
Caution out once again. Yeah, sorry for that, Carlos. I just saw that 27 all sideways, and yeah, the bit of a that was a wreck that actually started out of turn 2. It looked like, and it ended up in turn 4. You just see a little bit too much speed, like you said, Carlos, and right there the car just. He had AJ Digby behind him. I think there might have been a little bit of contact from the rear, but there's not much either driver could do. That number 27 was going for a ride, whether he liked it or not. So, no damage on that car. He'll be fine. He wants to take a fast repair, and everybody will be good to go. But one driver on pit road, Christopher Burge, who was your leader,
we'll talk to him.
elected to take his pit stop. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk to him after he comes off pit road.
All right, so about 41 laps into this race, Kyle. What are your quick impressions? Who do you think is faster?
Well, I'm not sure who Kyle is. He's out on the racetrack right now. I believe you were looking at that 25.
Did I say Kyle?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Cameron,
fine, though. I know what you're talking about.
What are your quick impressions of the race so far?
I think that 14 and I think the 90, or excuse me, the 49 are the 2 fastest ones to beat. We're going to talk to one of them right now. We got him right here. Christopher, you got a quick word, or you got a quick moment for us for a word?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. Well, about almost a third of the way through this race, we heard in the practice session you were one of the cars to beat out here tonight. How's the track feeling for you?
The track is alright. It's just really, really loose if you gotta take it easy with the throttle here. That's all you could do here. So all you gotta do is just take it really easy. Throttle control is called. That's pretty much all you could hang on.
All right. Well, you definitely look quick out there in the lead, and you're back in about 10th position right now. So you're gonna go through the pack. You're gonna try to get through the pack as quickly as possible. Or you're just gonna take your time and kind of do it slowly.
Just take my time. That's all I can do.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you talking with us. Good luck the rest of the race.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's gonna take us time to get through the pack. Probably a good strategy with the way this race has gone. And you see, actually, we have a bit of overcast over the track right now. It's gotten noticeably darker.
One of the things one of the things he cannot do is take too much time, because time can't go away here really quickly.
Absolutely, but I think with this overcast being over the track, this track will be noticeably grippier for these drivers, so we'll see how that plays into the thing. Green flag out. Kyle Zimmer gets a good jump on the restart, so we see that bottom line very strong on the restart. But here comes AJ Digby around the outside. I thought he was going to make the move. That would have been an absolute power move, but that number 14 definitely looking very racy here tonight. 25, Kyle Zimmer loose in turn 3 and 4, but it keeps it straight, and he's actually going to not hold the lead at the line. Give that to AJ Digby. He's going to make the move around the outside into turn 1. What a power move for that 14. that number 14 is very quick here tonight. He's going to be one. He's going to be one of them to beat for sure. Number 25. He's just got to beat his competition, his nearest competition in points with number 32 of Billy
49.
Wise. Ooh, yeah, that's not what he needed, and no caution, so he's definitely going to go out down a lap. I would have to assume right here he's still not gotten the car straight. Finally gets it going, but he's in turn 1, and leader is in turn 1 right now as well. So only a couple seconds separating him from going 1 lap down. So might have been a commentator's curse there. I'm sorry, Chris, if that was the case. Too much beans, way too much beans. But
so yes, something that we were seeing with the 25, especially on that restart where he ended up losing the lead to AJ Digby, is him getting loose in the exit. I really don't think he might be doing that on purpose, because that's killing his tire, especially in the long run. But he's essentially just making himself a straightaway in a track where there is no straightaway to be found at. It's very impatient to drive these vehicles. I'm already sensing the frustration, even though I haven't taken these exact vehicles to this track. I'm seeing them.
Ooh, trouble.
Yeah, caution is out. Billy Wise at 32.
Yeah, once again, the number 32 in an accident, but I don't believe there's any contact, so he's going to be A-okay. Just went through a little bit of a ride on the backstretch, gets it righted, and he's going to be good to go. Put some tires in that car and go out there once again, but see if it was another case of too much beans. Actually got to the side of the 34.
Beans, but it wasn't for him, it was for the 34.
Yeah, just got inside the 34, and it nerfed that car right in the infield, but he's going to be A-okay, so another caution here, and we are officially at the 1/3 mark in this race, and see some activity on pit road. Somebody is going down the grass. That was the number 66 of Brian Lowhead. Might be a bit of a penalty there, because that was probably going to be an unsafe pit entry, because he was on the other side of the pit wall, so let's see how iRacing deems that. But let's go and get a quick word with number 14 of AJ Digby before we go back green. See where he is in here. AJ Digby, you got a quick moment for a word with us? We'll try that in like next caution or so. Couldn't get a hold of him at the time being, but he is your leader right now and has looked very racy up to this point in the race. So I think we definitely will have to talk to him later on, but let's give you a quick 1/3 distance field rundown. AJ Digby right there, center of your screen, is your leader, followed by Kyle Zimmer. Travis Zudema, somebody we haven't talked about too much in the race. He started 10th. He's up 3rd. Very good run for that 90 car. Alan Capers, we saw him in a bit of trouble earlier, but has gotten himself back up to 4th. Fernando Matos started 11th, up to 5th, so good run for him. Kevin Pasquich in 6th, Nate 7th, Christopher 8th, Brian Bliss 9th, pole sitter, and Brian Lowhead rounds out your top 10. But we're doubled up for another restart here at Oxford, and the pace car about to make that left turn into pit road. It is there right now, so the flagman has the green flag in his hands, and green flag once again. We hear good start for the outside line. Kyle Zimmer, he's going to hold even with Digby into turn number 1, but the outside line just not quick enough to make a move, so he's going to have to fall in behind. Battle for 3rd with Zudema and Capers. Ooh, trouble for the 17 of Matos. Caution. He's around in turn 3, and caution once again. Ooh, almost some contact there with the 34, but they were able to keep off each other. So another caution here. No damage for any of these cars involved. Just looks like it might have been a bit too much beans here again, Carlos.
Yep, that's exactly what we're seeing. 17 just carrying a little bit too much. Not enough eggs in that breakfast there. Going around, finding himself now in 11th place. That being said, I believe Billy Wines will end up getting the free pass for that for this caution.
Let's go ahead and see if we can dial up routine once again. Let's see right here. AJ Digby, you got a quick for a word with us?
Right here.
No. All right, man. We tried to get you last caution, but couldn't get you. But you look fast out there tonight. 14's looking very stout. How's the track feeling for you?
Yeah, I love this car. I haven't really done much here, but I love short track racing, and so this plays right into it. It feels like an asphalt version of hometown track that my dad grew up racing, that I grew up watching on. So just trying to put a little bit of what I know about that into this race, and so far it's working out well. I've been able to move, not only been able to pull lead when I'm in the front, but if I'm in the back, I've been able to move up pretty quickly. So track feels good. It's definitely a little bit more grippy than practice. Just hoping to keep getting good restarts and keep the car going straight.
All right, well, that sounds pretty good, and you're looking pretty good right now in the best position you can be, maybe except for being in the pace car, but of course that is not a position. So we'll let you get back to what you're doing, and hope to talk to you again after the race.
Thank you.
Now, he said the track feels good, and he's confident in his ability, so there's not much more you can ask for a driver, right, Carlos?
Yeah, that's true. Just about almost halfway in about 15 more laps. This race is still going by very, very quickly, even though we have these amount of cautions. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the weather, Cam? It's not exactly the hottest thing out there. The track temperature is kind of high at about 100 degrees, but the air temperature is about 75. But then again, I live in Miami, so 75 is cold for me.
Yeah, it's about almost standard iRacing weather. That would be 78 if it was standard iRacing weather, but a bit cooler than that, and probably that would be why there's more grip in the track, because they ran the practice in the standard weather. But pace car is off once again. Field in hands of AJ Digby. He's going to get the jump on the restart once again. Kyle Zimmer, another good restart on the outside line, but not going to be able to do anything with it. That outside line is just not where you need to be, but he's holding tough with the 13 of Alan Capers. Ooh, some contact there in turn 3. Capers drove way up the racetrack. Not sure if Zimmer will be too happy about that one, but moved that 13 up to the second place. Here comes Kyle Zimmer trying to make a move into turn number 1. Sideways, wiggling the tail just a little bit. And some contact in the back, 34 around, and it's like we're still bumping in turns 1 and 2. I saw the number 1 of Thomas Wise there. Looks like everybody was able to keep it straight. Just a big log jam through that corner. And we have some contact in 1. Number 27 of Paskowicz sideways. Number 49 of Chris Reverge is coming through the field in a hurry. There was some contact from behind right there. Number 27 was all out of whack, but was able to keep it straight. Good driving on his part. That number 49 is absolutely on a mission. We saw him spun around on the front stretch just a few laps ago, and he's going to have to come back through the field, but he's already back up to the 4th position, and definitely shown that he is one of the cars to beat here tonight. But somebody we haven't talked about too much, number 13 of Alan Capers. He's currently in the 2nd position, and he's in the points battle. He's in 3rd place right now, 12 points behind that number 25 of Zimmer, so he's out here to beat that 25 and everyone else, get as many bonus points as he can get, and try to make up some of that deficit going into Richmond, but doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Yeah, and his wife is on the chat cheering him on, so well, I don't know his wife's name. Cam, you better not know his wife's name, but she is definitely there cheering him on, and pretty much every single race I'm seeing her getting on, cheering in Alan. So it's great to see him running up front and contending for possibly a win. This is the 25 of Kyle Zimmer going in for another battle for 2nd. Chris Roberts is back there as well. He does have some rear end damage, possibly from a checkup earlier that we were noticing, as the 25 is trying to pass the 13 on the inside. You see the 4 is of Nicotella are going to go lap him again. Nicotella still going out there and not backing out regardless of how many laps down he is. Still going side by side here in turn 1 and 2. The 25, I think, is finally going to clear the 13 of Alan Capers, as you now see the 49 of Chris Roberts going down in there. Adam Capers is not getting a break, as he definitely wants to go into the inside and defend himself from losing any more positions. Now that we started talking to him, he's lost 2 positions, so once again the commentator's curse is acting on full effect here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Some contact there in 3 and 4 with 49 and 13, but nothing there. There's that number 90 of Travis Zudema. He's in the 5th position right now. Started 10th, and we talked about him a little bit. He was up to about 3rd. Ooh, sideways.
We have to stop, Cam. We have to stop.
We have to stop. And that number 90 got up on the berm, and no caution out. He's going to get back on the racetrack, but a little bit of front end damage, undoubtedly from hitting that light pole berm, and definitely not what you want here. But no caution. So we're working lap number 72 under the green flag right now. And battle for the 2nd position. Chris Reberge and Kyle Zimmer going at it. That's a pretty short battle because Reberge just drives around the 25. So at number 49 is absolutely hunting it down the lead. He's actually running a little bit quicker than Digby by about a half a tenth last lap, and that was in traffic. So we're on board with him right now from the rear. You can see how loose these cars here around this racetrack. Number 13 sideways.
I was waiting for you to stop talking. I was going to say, I don't know if you saw what the 13 was doing, but he's doing something that's, if he can pull it off, it's going to help him a lot. But if he messes up, he'll blow his engine. That's what I was talking about. He's digging his left front underneath the curbs and trying to ride up against the curbs, trying to get some extra mechanical grip. That being said, if he gets a little bit too far, not only could it get him loose, but it could also destroy his engine right away. So we saw him hitting it just incorrectly enough to the point where he got loose. No actual damage to the engine, but he did lose a couple ground to the 25, and now is going to start defending against the 27 of Kevin Paskowicz.
And now working halfway here at Oxford and actually getting some green flag laps under our belt. So this race is going to end in a hurry if we don't get another caution. But I would hedge my bets on probably seeing another one at this stage in the race. But definitely the quickest car on track right now is the number 49 of Chris Roberge, who we're looking at right now. He's ran down the 14 of AJ Digby, but actually lost a tenth or so the last lap. So whatever he was doing before, he probably needs to do again. But the number 14 number 49 definitely very quick, as well as the 14. He is your current leader, and if that number 49 can catch Digby, I think that that's going to be a great race to watch. But don't count on the number 25, Kyle Zimmer, as well. He's lurking right there in the third position, right behind those front two, and hasn't lost a whole lot of ground. Definitely wasn't too confident about this racetrack after last week, after talking to him, but doing a pretty good job here tonight. And that's really the Kyle Zimmer story. Kyle Zimmer, of course, somebody that he is in the points lead, and there's definitely a reason why he is in the points lead. He can come out here and have a bad day and finish,
Oh,
fourth.
the 14!
Oh yeah, trouble for the 14. No,
what is wrong with me? I just cut to his camera and then he started spinning out. I am the curse, not you. I am the curse. The 14 got loose, just a little bit too much bean syrup in the corner one more time, and gave up the lead to the 49 of Chris Roberge. So Chris Roberge is leading this race. He's got about just over a second lead to the 25 of Kyle Zimmer, who also has just about a second lead to Alan Capers. And he also has a half-second lead to the 14 of AJ Digby. AJ Digby probably not happy with himself right now. He was leading the race, and if this goes caution-free the rest of the way, he pretty much just gave it away right there, Cam. I don't know what you can comment in on that right there.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, because last two laps on the racetrack, he was the fastest car, or excuse me, the last lap before the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the fastest car on the racetrack, so he's going for the third place on Alan Capers right now. See if he can make the move into turn number one. I think he will. He's got the preferred groove and probably going to drive around right
also
now.
fast.
Right now, off turn number two, and yes, give that position to AJ Digby. He's going to float it into turn number three, get a good launch off the corner, and give him the third position. So now he has it all to do for him. He has to catch those two cars in front of him, both of which are very, very fast, Kyle Zimmer and Chris Roberge. So a lot on his plate right now for AJ Digby, but you know what? If there's anyone that can do it, it's probably going to be him, because he's, like you said, he's got to be absolutely mad at himself. He's going to be driving it for all he's worth the rest of this race if we go green.
So then we can see is it's very possible. It looks like Kyle Zimmer is going to be catching the 49 of Chris Roberge. But the main question is, will he be able to do anything about that? I don't know. I mean, Chris Roberge is also, he may not have as fast of a car as the 25 does, but Chris does have excellent blocking abilities, as we've seen demonstrated in previous races. Cam, who do you think this battle's going to end up going to?
I'm not sure yet, but I do know one thing. The number 4 is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. 15.611 last lap to an 8.11 for Zimmer and a 6.32 for the 49 of Roberge. So I think we're going to have a 3-car battle here for the lead before too long, and that's definitely going to be something to watch. 7.11 for Roberge last time, a 6.68 for Zimmer, and a 6.21 for Digby. And I'm noticing that 14. He's been able to keep it around the. He's been able to keep it tighter around the corners than either Roberge or Zimmer for the most part. So number 14 running a very tight line around the racetrack, and it's definitely proven to be a lot of speed for that machine. But really the gap from the leader to Digby is only about 1.5 seconds right now, if not a little bit less. So definitely he has plenty of time to get back up there. We're coming up onto 50 laps to go in just a few laps, and 50 laps here is both a long time and a not long time, depending on how the race goes. But
yeah,
I think
if you want to reference, it's been about 50 laps since we've gone green. No, that's not true. I'm a liar again. It's been about 50 laps since the leader's gone on pit road. I gotta stop. Today's not my day. I'm not feeling well today.
Well, we do have a race later on if you're feeling well for that one, which will be another crazy thing to watch. Porsche Cup cars at Daytona 07, but
Yeah, 2007 Daytona, yeah.
oh yeah, definitely a fun time there. But have some lap traffic up here. Nate Catilla gets up and out of the way for these leaders. Good move there to not get in the way of Roberge, Digby, or Zimmer, and it's going to go another lap down now, 2 laps down on the field. Not having a good night for him, but of course it happens every once again for racing drivers, and it's just one of those things. But we're about to have a battle for second here. AJ Digby has caught Kyle Zimmer, and he's right on his rear bumper, so I think he's probably not going to waste too much time in trying to get around him. And you know, we know Kyle Zimmer, he might just go ahead and let Digby by, because definitely that number 14 is faster at the moment, and Kyle Zimmer is points racing. We know that, and he is ahead of who he needs to be at this stage in the race, and really he's not going to get harmed too much by getting beat by either Roberge or Digby.
I don't know, but that's assuming that Kyle doesn't want to win today, and I don't think that's true. I think he's going to go all out if he can get himself in a position to win, but right now it definitely does seem like the 14 has the car to beat, and I'm not even sure at this speed that the 49 can do anything to stop him.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely let's look at lap times once again. Last time by, Digby was a 7.31 to a 7.16 for Chris Roberge, probably as a result of passing Zimmer, but we'll see as they cross the line what the lap times are here. A 5.79 for Roberge and a 5.89 for Digby. Yeah, 50 laps to go, and that number 49 has picked up the pace a little bit. I think he might have been playing some kind of tactic and maybe saving his tires while that 14 was coming up on him, so he can have some more once Digby got around Zimmer, because I think Roberge knows that number 14 is probably his main competition for the win tonight. So we know that both those drivers are very smart. They both play tricks like that, and we have seen it before. So good little piece of strategy here going on at Oxford.
About 48 laps to go. The gap appears to be staying just about the same, Cam. It's very shocking, as you mentioned. It's possible that maybe the 49 was maybe saving some tires, or possibly a little bit more possible that AJ Digby was maybe killing his. He was definitely going really fast, passing all these vehicles. It's extremely possible that he just killed his tires after he passed for second place.
Yeah, definitely, and the cloud cover on the racetrack once again. So if Digby were to have done that, it's going to manifest itself a little bit more so now that the cloud cover has descended over the track. The car will be a little bit tighter than it would be normally, so we'll have to see on that. But the 14 is still running a pretty tight line around the racetrack. It just doesn't look like he's able to catch Roberge. Actually, as I say that, look at the gap closed right there between Digby and Roberge through the center of the corner, but that 49 just a little bit quicker off. So I think Digby is sacrificing a little bit of exit speed for mid-corner speed, and it's definitely one of the ways to run this racetrack, but it might be a little bit difficult to pass Roberge if he gets up to him.
We were seeing another battle there quickly for a moment between the 27 and the 17. They got quickly resolved there, but we're seeing the 17 trying to go back up against the 27. This will be for fourth place. Quick battles, not much going on around the racetrack. This would be the closest battle. Next closest would be the battle for the lead. But considering the fact that these drivers are within a car length or two of each other, it's more of a priority to see what these drivers are going to do to each other. If they're going to try to get by each other clean, or maybe a little bumper might get used up there for the corners.
Absolutely. One driver on pit road, number 90 of Travis Zudema. He was running about the 8th position or so before he pitted. I'm not sure why that pit stop was necessary. Definitely unscheduled, but either way, he is going to be about 2 laps down on the field as of right now. So he is back on the racetrack, but back up at the front. Number 49 of Chris Roberge holding steady, that gap about 0.7 of a second on Digby. So both these drivers doing a good job. 49 not being phased by the 14 in his mirror. And I think we are seeing the 2 fastest cars up at the front coming to a battle here. And that's going to be something fun to watch for the end of this race. But about 39 laps to go here. And like you say, Carlos, time is definitely running out for both of these drivers.
Yeah, I know Chris Roberge definitely doesn't want to see AJ Digby getting closer and closer. And he's, at this point now, AJ gets close for a little bit. Every once in a while, a couple laps will get close. and then Christian Birch will pull away just a little. This is actually the closest they've been in a while, just about over 5/10 of a second. But now the sun is coming back out, and we'll see how that's going to affect AJ Digby. It seems like whenever the sun goes down, AJ Digby catches up to Chris just a little, but when the sun comes back out, caution is out. That was not part of a rhyme. Caution is actually out.
Yeah, caution is out definitely here. 37 laps to go. We'll see what happened here on the replay. Looks like it might have been started with the 90 of Travis Zudema getting in trouble here, and see off of turn number 4. And Carlos, go ahead and say it.
That car had definitely a shift momentum, and it almost spun around there. Just a little bit too much speed entering the corners, and when he tried to turn it back around, it almost flipped.
Oh, we have some strategy up right here. Number 14 of Digby and Kyle Zimmer, Kevin Paskowicz, Fernando Matos, all like to come up the road. And your leader, Chris Laberge, not so much. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. So, big development here, and I think that Chris Laberge might be in a bit of trouble after that one.
He's in a pickle.
Yeah, might be. So we'll have to see if he actually likes to stay out on the racetrack, or if actually, yep, right there, he's going to pull it down pit road, and I think he realized that was a bit of a mistake there, and he wasn't going to be able to do anything with those older tires against the rest of the field on fresh tires. So he's going to give up the lead and probably go back to about around the 10th, 9th, 8th position.
Yeah, that was definitely not the best call for the 49. Unfortunately, he's going to see more than likely a win escaping from his hands right there. He had 75 lap old tires at that point, and even I would have gone down pit road. It wouldn't have been worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see how he's able to come back through the field, and we'll have to. It's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. We'll have to watch that one here and keep track of his progress. But really, yeah, not much racing here left to go. 33 laps on a 3/8 mile racetrack, and it's not many miles at all. About 12 miles to be exact. So think of 12 laps around Dover, how quickly that goes around.
Yeah, it's going to go by possibly even faster. I don't know, maybe. Once to green already. These cautions are going by very quick. It's not like it's Daytona or Pocono where they can take well over 5 minutes.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. So we're going to be going back green here in just about 10 seconds time, really. Pace car is going to make the hard left turn onto pit road once again, and field in the hands of AJ Digby, who was in second place at the time of the caution, gained the lead out of some pit strategy for Chris Laberge. With green flag out once again. Good start for both on the front row. Kyle Zimmer on that outside line once again. It seems like he's been out there all race long, so he's got to be frustrated with that. Here comes Kevin Paskowicz. He's been able to make the move on Zimmer for the second place. I'm sure that Digby is loving that in his mirror, but he's not been able to pull away just yet. Number 27 is absolutely hounding AJ Digby. Not talking about
the 17 goes around.
17 around, yeah. Caution out once again. So we'll see what happened here for the 17 of Matos. Looks like there might have been some contact with the 34. I would assume that at the time, actually maybe not so much, just a bit of contact with the 13 of Allen Capers there, and
barely
Matos went. Yeah, barely any damage whatsoever. Not going to need to take a fast rep for that whatsoever. Doing just fine, and we're only reaching about 90, 100 miles an hour here in the straightaway, so he's a track not too fast. Of course, there's not much room to get the speed built up, so really not too bad for the damage. Ooh, the number 1 of Thomas Wyatt is also spinning around there after the fact, but he's going to be A-okay as well. But let's get a quick word with the 27 of Paskowicz. Haven't talked to him yet during the race, and he's got himself up to the second position, so let's see what he thinks about that. Hey, Kevin Paskowicz, you got a quick for a word here in the booth?
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, it's pretty good. This race has looked pretty fun from our vantage point. How's it going for you?
It's interesting. I never run these cars at this track before. It's been taking a little bit of getting used to, but it's a lot of fun. It's very edge of your seat and seat of your pants both at the same time.
That's definitely a term I've never heard before, but it definitely looks that way. Looks like these cars are a little bit loose, a little bit on edge around the racetrack. Would that be a correct assumption to make?
Yeah, you can't put any power down. It's like walking on eggshells. It's like there's broken eggshells on the throttle pedal. You just got to be really easy with it. It's all about how you roll it through the corner. I just figured that out, actually.
Absolutely. Well, and I have about 24 laps to go at the green, and what do you think your chances are of beating that number 14 in front of you?
Man, I have no idea. You know, I've been learning this track all night long. I don't know. I know AJ and Kyle are always really strong no matter what car, no matter what track. So I'll just see how it goes, see if I've learned anything, and take it from there.
All right, man. Well, good luck the rest of the race, and hope to talk again afterwards.
All right, thank you.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers approach these last 24 laps when they go back to green. I don't know if we're going to have any more cautions. I'm sure we will, but I also don't even know who's going to win this race.
Well, Carlos, that is exactly why we are running it, to find out who wins the race, and we're going to find that out right now. Green flag out once again here at Oxford. Good start for both Digby and Pascovich. Pascovich actually was nose even with Digby into Turn 1, but as we saw, once again, that outside line just not very good. It's not where you want to be, but we have 3 wide almost further back in the pack. Number 34, Brian Bliss. Haven't talked about him since about the first third of the race, but he's got himself back into position. 25 of Zimmer sideways, but saves it. Still sideways, still sideways, still sideways on the backstretch. That car is absolutely not happy whatsoever. Christopher Burge sideways, Billy Wise in it as well, and, well, caution out once again. That was a wreck that took about a lap to happen.
Go board to 25. Or let's see what happened to 25 first. Alright, here we go. Let's see what happened to 25. Comfortably in second. And, yeah, actually, he drove it in just a little too hard entering the corner and was never fully able to recover. And then with the 49, he also drove it in a little bit too deep, probably a little bit confused as to what was going on with the 25, causing him to just drive a little bit too far, collecting the 32, bringing out the caution.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's not going to be what Roberge needed at all. Try to get back through this field and get back into the position to win the race. He's going to be starting back in about 8th or 9th position after that. Kyle Zimmer coming off pit road in 7th, so
not that far off. He only lost about 2 positions.
There's so much damage on that. I don't really believe there's too much. No, that car looks relatively fine. The aero not important here whatsoever, so he's going to be just fine. And well, we're under 20 to go now, so we're absolutely in the final stretch of this race, and if it goes green, it's going to be over in a hurry.
Jeff Schmidt on the chat reminding us that this is, all the races are 3 green white checkers. So by the way, Jeff, we hope you feel better. He is also under the weather. So hopefully he can get himself back together feeling better for the next race, where we can give him an interview he deserves. That man works too hard to get sick right now. It's a shame. Jeff, man, I know you're listening. You are one great person. Anyway, we're going to be restarting probably with about 17 or 16 laps to go, and it's still the same question that's burning in my head. Who's going to win this race, and how many cautions are we going to have? Because we can go caution-free or without a caution, and it's kind of like a flip of the coin. We don't know what's going to happen, as we are 1 to green.
Yeah, and I'll say to you, Jeff, hope you do feel better myself, and in the meantime, go off in that pagoda off of turn number 4 and go eat some nice pancakes with some nice warm maple syrup, because that sounds absolutely amazing right now. And yes, I am hungry, so I'm going to go eat some food after this race. But before that, we are doubled up for another restart here with 17 laps to go on the green flag. Pace car is off. Green flag being thrown out by the flagman right now. Good start for both on the front row. Digby a little bit sideways into 1, but keeps it straight. Pascovich, probably the best restart we've seen all night on that outside lane. He's going to slot in right behind Digby, right in front of Alan Capers in 3rd position, but drives up the racetrack a little bit. Ooh, some contact further on back. Number 34, Brian Bliss, gets kind of booted up the racetrack a little bit, but he's able to keep it straight. And here comes that number 49 of Christopher Burge up to the 5th position. Ooh, the 27 of Pascovich sideways into turn number 3. So here comes Alan Capers around the outside. Renato Matos has gotten himself up to the 4th position off of turn number 4. You see him right at the bottom of your screen. in this battle. There was some contact there with the 27-13, and here comes Matos almost putting some contact in there as well, but they all keep off each other. Some good racing for that second position. AJ Digby is loving this in his mirror. He's pulled away to about about a second lead, looking pretty right now. Now the battle rages for the third position with Matos and Alan Capers, and Matos is going to get it pretty easily. Now Capers is going to be under fire from 49 of Roberge. We know he's hungry, he's mad. He was up in the lead earlier in this race. Maybe some contact. He boots the 13 from the rear. We're on board with him right now. We'll see how the 13 of Capers reacts to that. Number 34 behind, getting booted up the track once again, so not a good night for him. He's been knocked around like a pinball. A lot of contact here in late stages of this race, but that was absolutely expected. But we're still on board with Chris Roberge here, who's sideways.
No.
Three on the berm, in the air.
No caution,
And I think
he's on
that's
the
going to
grass.
bring out we'll see if that brings out a caution. And absolutely not. So that's that's pretty much the end of his night.
He was on the grass when that happened, so no caution is coming out. No other drivers having any other issues. No other battles that I'm seeing. I lied to you once again. The 25 is having an issue as he was having a battle. So that's double jeopardy. I can't get in trouble for that. I'm not seeing anything else. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to 25 there for a quick moment. Did he get a little contact from the 32, or was it another case of having too much beans for breakfast? Oh, he drove it in just a little bit too hard there. He's going to lose a couple positions. Nothing too serious, but it's just making his night worse there. And he's still loose. I was looking back and he's still getting loose all around the racetrack as AJ Digby's pulling away to an over 1.2 second lead. This is, at this point, his race to lose. Going on from 27. It's clear to 13. Pardon me, the 17. This is 17 and 13 are going to start battling each other for third place.
Yeah, this is going to be a good battle for second and third. It's Kevin Pasquich, Fernando Matos, and Alan Capers all going at it. Capers doing a little bit dirty right there. He drove it in and hit the 17, but 17 was having none of that. And that is good old classic short track racing right there. We love to see that here at Oxford. But Matos is going to have a handful keeping that number 13 behind him. He drives it way in the corner, almost up to the 17, but not able to do anything just yet. But Pasquich has got to be loving this in his mirror, because that's keeping his second place alive. And Digby absolutely gone right now. He's in a different zip code with 5 laps to go. Number 13.
More contact, yes, and yes in the corner. Something I learned how to do, because I'm not a very fast racer, but when I'm holding a position that I know I shouldn't be having, I expect people to bump into me. So I enter the corners and I prepare myself to get hit, and that's usually what allows me to not lose positions, not get turned around so easily. But of course, the harder the hit, the harder it's going to be able to save it, as we're about to enter 3 laps to go here.
And we have a battle for the second place brewing up. Kevin Pasquich and Fernando Matos. Matos has actually pulled away from Capers by a little bit. He's gotten himself into the battle with Pasquich for that second place. So we'll see how these two treat each other. But these 3 cars right here are just kind of ballooning back and forth. They're kind of getting up to each other and falling away from each other. And it's pretty cool to see, actually. We'll see if the bumpers come into play here. But definitely that number 14, AJ Digby, about a 2-second lead right now. He's driving off in the distance. He's already probably locked up the trophy off of the last corner. And white flag out here at Oxford. He's only got 3/8 of a mile here. And we'll see for the battle for second who's able to win it. Kevin Pasquich has it. Fernando Matos has third. Capers is going to want it. We'll see if he's willing to use a bumper. Connection issues for Capers. He's not going to be able to do it. And, well, there you go. There's your finish of the Oxford 150. It was a pretty good race, and coming home with a win, AJ Digby in the 14 car. Masterful performance for him. Was one of the fastest cars here tonight and definitely showed it. But we're going to let these drivers get their thoughts collected, get stuff out of the car, and we see somebody flying in the air. That's number 4 of Nate Catilla, going up on those berms once again. And driving into the 13 of Alan Capers, driving into the 25 of Kyle Zimmer. Probably just using up that car because he wants to get the heck out of here and go to Richmond next week. But you see some celebratory donuts for the 14 of AJ Digby, the winner of the race tonight. And I believe that was his 3rd or 4th win of the season out of 9 races, or out of 8 ran so far. So Digby coming out here and showing that he is a force to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, not in the points battle because he did miss a few races early on in the season, but definitely coming out here and showing what's up. But well, like we said, we'll let these drivers get their thoughts collected, get out of the car, get themselves cooled off a little bit, and we'll have some interviews with you pretty shortly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back up for Plains Speedway. We just concluded tonight's event after 150 laps. Your winner, AJ Digby in number 14, but before we talk to him, we're going to go ahead and talk with our second and third place finishers, and I got one of them right here. Got him right here with me. Fernando Matos, third place finisher tonight. You got a copy?
Yeah, got a copy.
Alright, man. Well, you started 11th. Looked like you had some troubles there early on, but you were able to find your groove and get some work done. Just kind of talk us through the race in your own eyes.
Yeah, I had some computer issues right during qualifying, started 11. Made the points, but had a spin like around half race. And then just making a points again. That was the name of the game.
Yeah, it looked like the track was pretty slick out there tonight. I heard a lot of drivers say it was very, very on edge, very tough drive. How did it feel for you?
It was slick. You had to really baby that throttle. You couldn't apply much brake. But mainly the gas, you really had to be careful babying it, which is really a challenge for me. And I know Nathan, I know some other guys, so everybody did a fantastic job because as someone said in the radio, this is like racing on ice, but so much fun.
Absolutely, and it also looked like taking fighter jets in a gym. It was how close the corners were tonight. That's just a tiny, tiny racetrack. But you know what? We're done with these tiny racetracks. We go to Richmond next week, or excuse me, in 2 weeks with these cars. How are you looking forward to that one?
Not very much, to be honest. Richmond has not been a good track for me, but hey, always a chance to turn that around, right?
Absolutely. Well, Richmond is my home track, so I'll try to put some good luck on you for that race weekend. But before we let you go, Fernando, you got any shout-outs for us?
And shout out to my mom, who's right here watching the race. 3 feet away from me, love you, Mom. Shout out to my dad, to my sister, who are also watching the race. Love you both. And to my uncle, whose birthday was last week. So shout out to those people that support me. And to you, 3Y TV, for doing what you do every week. It's amazing to have you guys support us so much.
Absolutely, Fernando. Well, congrats on your third place finish, and we definitely hope back to you again in 2 weeks' time.
See ya. Bye.
All right, well, that was your place finisher, Fernando Matos, and I think Carlos is walking down pit road to catch up with our second place finisher, Kevin Paskovich.
Yes, I'm actually trying to see if I can find him, and yeah, there he is. I pulled the wrong person by accident, but I was able to find Kevin Paskowicz there at the last moment. Kevin, you ended up finishing second place. Maybe not the finish that you desperately wanted, but second place isn't that necessarily that bad here in a very, very circular track. How was your night here overall?
Honestly, it was up and down. I mean, started off very loose, and I think I got into Kyle there a little bit, and then we had spun out once, and then we had that long green flag run, and it was weird. Like, I was faster than the guys in front of me, and then I was slower, then I was faster, then I was slower, and just really couldn't figure out the track. And then we had that last caution come out, well, not the last one, but we had the one come out that bunched us all together there with like 30 to go. And all of a sudden the car was working great. The track seemed to really come in all of a sudden, and honestly, if I'd taken tires and a bunch of guys had taken tires with me, maybe we would have had something for AJ. He's just so strong. But I felt like we were faster than him right off the get-go, but then I just lost concentration and kind of beat myself and got out of my rhythm, and then I was too focused on trying to get Fernando behind me to try and run him down. So it was interesting all night long.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Still, second place isn't that bad, and I'm sure you're looking forward to going into the race in 2 weeks and not having to turn pretty much 100% of the race.
Yeah, I forgot that I had my wheel settings where they were, and my right arm right now is very sore, especially the shoulder. I've actually never run a race at the track that wasn't a street stock race, so and this may be actually my second race ever on this track, so forgot what it is and wasn't quite sure about it, and didn't set my settings quickly, and yeah, my arm is a little sore.
Oh, that second place is well worth it. Next week, you guys head to Texas for the Truck Series, and then after that, you guys are going to go to Bristol. How are you guys preparing? Oh, sorry, pardon me. That's the wrong series. The next K&N car race is going to be at Richmond. How are you looking forward to that one?
I don't know. Richmond, I love Richmond in modifieds, especially the tour mods and the SKs and the late models. Even they're fun there, but I've never run them, and again, never run them with this car, so I don't know what it's going to do, and that worries me a little bit because I absolutely despise Richmond and trucks, B cars, and the A cars.
All right. Well, before we do let you go, and so you can recover that arm, do you have any shout-outs you want to give out?
Just, again, as always, phenomenal Evolution Racing and all my dates over there. And of course, PH Aware, PH Human Project, Palmetto Distillery, and Marietta College. I keep forgetting they're on the side of the car, on the K&N car. And give them a shout out as well. They just actually announced they're starting an East program, so really happy about that. Ride to Give, and then of course my lovely wife Karen, my family for putting up with me.
All right, well, thank you so much, Kevin. I hope you recover and you go out and do well on Wednesday and next week. We'll see you next week there, or Wednesday, I believe. Are you participating in the Wednesday
All right,
series?
thank you guys.
All right.
No, I don't do Wednesdays.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday then. Cameron Rich, I believe, has gone and caught up with the race winner, AJ Digby. Cameron, are you there?
Yeah, I got him right here. Agent Digby, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
All right, man. Well, we talked to you sometime in the race, and you said you had a lot of confidence in your ability to win it, and well, here you are, and you did do that. So, really a good performance for you. But I have to ask you the question: 4 wins and 8 starts. What if you didn't miss Martinsville?
I don't know. Obviously, I would have hoped to be towards the front of the point standings. That's kind of the tough thing with Dan Lisa being down. We don't get provisionals, and then also there's no drop weeks. So I missed 1 week, and I pretty much ruined the chances at a championship, even though I feel like I've dominated the whole thing. But Oh well, I also think Martinsville is a track I could have won as well, so I could have made that one another good one for me. Daytona wasn't a good race, and then Rockingham was leading before that thing went crazy, so I don't know exactly what's all going to happen with that. But speaking about tonight, I didn't get a chance to qualify. Tried to jump in late. I was finishing up dinner, so didn't get a lap in. But I was able to push my way through the field, helped build up my confidence, and then once I was able to get it out front, I felt like I was kind of in control of things. I messed myself up once or twice, got a little bit sideways or bounced off the curb wrong. Was able to keep it straight, luckily, made a couple nice saves, and I think even if it would have stayed green, I would have had something for Chris there at the end. I was slowly catching him that whole entire run from 2 seconds down to about a half second. So all in all, it was a really good day. Was able to get that last restart on fresh tires and just run away with it from there.
Yeah, and I want to ask you the question. I know you've said that one of your strong points is tracks that are slick and the throttle control. Do you think that's why you were able to come out here tonight and be so successful with that?
Yeah, this was a very throttleable track. I don't honestly think I was ever full throttle at all in this race. The more the race went on, the more you were able to lean on the throttle a little bit more. The track rubbered in, there was a little bit of shade, it helped cool down. It tightened up the car a little bit, which helped on power out. This is definitely a track that is basically an asphalt version of a dirt track, because it was still slick, it was like right on the edge of that drifting, which I did kind of in my celebration. But it was right on the edge there, so every time you entered the corner, you were playing with the throttle to keep that car going around the corner, and it worked out really well for me. I love these short tracks and road courses, and played right into what I wanted.
Absolutely. You can't argue with 4 wins out of 8 starts, but we go to Richmond in 2 weeks. A bit different to this place. My home track, so a bit biased here, but I love the place. How are you looking forward to it?
I haven't been able to race it a lot in iRacing. I believe when we were last there with the B car, it might have been the trucks, I was third, I believe. And otherwise, I haven't been able to be there much in iRacing, but I really do like the track. I've raced it in a lot of other games and always performed pretty well there. So, and it's another short track. It's a little bit of one of the bigger short tracks that we go to in the K&N series, but I'm real excited for it nonetheless. It's a track that should play into my favor, and we'll just have to see that an hour before the race when I load in for practice how it feels.
Absolutely. Well, not really much to say. A good dominating performance really here at Oxford Plains. Before we let you go, AJ, you got any shout outs for us?
Yeah, Zulu Motorsport for their support, and my cousin Kevin as always for this car that we were able to keep clean all night. The Jeff from the league and everybody in it for the great racing. We had some great green flag runs today. This short, tough track. I was a little bit nervous in practice, but we were able to really tear this track apart. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. I'm excited to watch this one later. And lastly, I heard Kevin say shout out to Marietta College, so I would like to shout out another league, my college, Mount Union, University of Mount Union, greater than Marietta. So shout out to you, Kevin, for that one. But yeah.
All right, AJ. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Congrats on your win tonight, and definitely probably going to talk to you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much.
Cam, my college was the Miami-Dade Community College. I see you're not going to share with me, Cam. Anyway, it seems the server has shut down, so we can't get any more of the beautiful images for the track. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. I noticed that it usually comes and it goes, and it will last a long time for a couple weeks, and then it'll just happen again. So unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. But hey, Cam, I do know what we can do, and let's go over the results.
Absolutely, and here they are. AJ Digby coming home with the race win, his 4th of the season out of 8 starts. So that's batting 500 right there. Good to see that. Kevin Pasquez coming home 2nd. Fernando Matos in 3rd. Brian Blish, your pole sitter, coming home in 4th. Kyle Zimmer, the points leader, coming home in 5th. Billy Wise in 6th. Alan Caper 7th. Chris Verge, probably the heartbreak story of the night. Knew he was a fast car, coming home 8th in the last car on the lead lap. Brian Lodehead in 9th, and Nate Catilla, rough night for him, coming home in 10th.
Thomas Wise will finish 11th, 3 laps down, and Travis Zudema will be finishing 12th, 39 laps down. Unfortunately, Mark Thingman wasn't able to start the race, so he's going to be credited as 13th place, even if he does get credited as that at all. So that's going to wrap up another great broadcast. But Cam, I do believe before we go, you have a couple things you want to say.
Yeah, first off, I want to give a personal shout out to all of the chatters in the chat that keep us occupied while we do these things. You guys are awesome, and we hope you keep doing it. I love that you guys come out to hang with us and all that good stuff. And everybody that just watches the broadcasts, whether you watch the replays or you watch them live, that's obviously why we do this. So keep coming out and supporting us. Keep supporting this league. This is a great league to support. A lot of great people. A lot of great everybody, so we're privileged to do that. I want to give a shout out to Thomas Morris for these good graphics that allow us to show you these nice little images and stuff each and every week, so that's always a good way to spice up the broadcast, as well as SimTV for the cameras that we use at most racetracks. I don't believe we use them tonight, but
we use the in-cars, though.
Yeah, we use their in-cars still, so good shout out to those good guys at SimTV, good partner to us, and good broadcasting team, Finney and Kyle, so we love you guys. But I think that's all we got for you guys tonight. So a quick one here from Oxford, and one race left to go in the SimPossible Racing League K&N series, and it's going to be a good one next week or in 2 weeks' time at Richmond. So we'll see who's crowned champion, and definitely going to be a good little finale there. But we hope you guys have a good night and stay safe, stay awesome. Check us out again tomorrow night and Wednesday for more racing, and just have a good night, everyone.
All right, you guys have a good night as well.